for Mixed Media Morsels dessert number 7, how I created these three-dimensional embellishments using tissue boxes. Now, there's a lot of different packaging that you can use, a lot of different patterns and designs and things are on a lot of the products we buy today. So keep your eyes open for interesting patterns and designs that you can use to create something like this. For these I used punches like this, and also some dies. This bigger flower is, and this one here is also from, it's a Tim Holtz, I think it's called Tattered Flowers. It's the box type die, so it cuts through nice thick stuff like a tissue box would be. For this one here, I actually tore the layer of cardboard off of the box to make it thinner. So you can see it's nice and thin and papery. So these embellishments can also be made, you know, thinner, not necessarily have to be thick. It just depends on the look that you're going for. But all I did was just peel the layer, the patterned layer off of the cardboard box to make it easier to punch. And sometimes you want your embellishments to be a little bit thinner because you may want to collage it down, you know, and in that case you wouldn't want a thick, you know, cardstock or a cardboard type of embellishment punched out. But something that's thin like paper, you could not put the foam adhesive in between. See, these have layers of the foam adhesive in there. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. There we go. So there's a couple of layers of the foam adhesive in there. And so for the ones that you want to keep flat, you just leave that out. This one, for instance, has no foam adhesive. So this one's pretty flat, although it does have the little bling in the middle, and this one is the sturdier cardboard. I wanted to show you on this one too. I also, there's a piece of transparency in there. Can you see it here? And I just punched this one. Just used a scallop punch, scallop circle, and I punched out the circle, and then I used a permanent marker like a Sharpie. I think it was a Sharpie, yes. And I just drew the blue line around the piece, and then I put a piece of scrapbook paper, light colored one, on the back so that you could see the marks. But it's nice having a shiny element in there too. So that's a fun way to do it. So this one is raised with the foam adhesive as well. So anyway, they're just a lot of fun. And what I wanted to show you is a way that you can use these. Here's a little tag that I put together. This is a printed tag that I put this napkin piece over the top of. And so all I did was add the flower that I already had created. I created it just before I filmed this. And I added the words and a little bit of ribbon. And it just makes an adorable tag. It's just very much fun, you know? I mean, what a fun thing to put on in a card for somebody or on a gift bag. So even on your art journal pages you can use tags. So keep that in mind when you're creating these little embellishments. They go great on little tags and things. So I wanted to show you, like I was talking about how cool the tissue boxes are nowadays. The Kleenex brand boxes actually come nowadays, I mean, like recently I bought these, with a different pattern on the ends and than it has on the main part of the box. So that's really cool because you can use these together, you know, for your layers if you're doing like flowers or circles. So I think that's awesome. Here's another one that's also a recent one. It's got this color on a couple of sides and this color on the other sides. So I think that is really, really pretty. I think I have one more right here. Yes, I do. Okay, so we got this one with a really pretty, almost like a leafy pattern, and I mean just beautiful design. And then you've got these on the ends, so they would be gorgeous together to use as a layered type embellishment. Okay. So just keep it in mind whenever you're out and about and you're shopping and stuff, and if you've got to buy tissues or something, look for the ones that have packaging that you can use. Okay, so I wanted to just show you real quickly how I put these together. I've got one here. This one is from this paper here, and it is the thinner one because I did tear the cardboard off the back of that. And this one is from another tissue box. Okay, so it's from this box, and I just used the die cutting machine to cut that out. Let's see, and then all I'm gonna do is just stick these together. I'm gonna raise it with a little bit of foam adhesive. See if I can get the paper off. There we go. And like I said, you can make these flat with no foam adhesive. You would just glue it together. This one's just glued together. All right. And then I'm just going to put the smaller one on top of the larger one. See if I can get it centered here. That looks pretty good. Right, and like this one is 3 layers, you know, so you can make them as many layers as you want. Okay, and then for this one, I'm going to use a button in the center. I've got a little tiny turquoisey colored button, so I'm just going to put some glue in the center of my flower and set the button on there and let it dry. You can run string through your buttons and tie a little knot, and it looks really cute too. That's a fun way I've done buttons before on flower centers. Okay, so that's adorable. See, so it can look more like domestic and homey, or maybe vintage, or it can look a little bit more sparkly and fancy, you know, if you put the bling in the middle. Okay, so whichever way, whatever look you're going for, that's what you can do. Okay, here's another one. Let's put this one together. All right, this one is, I don't think I have this box package laying out, but it was another one that was similar to this pattern, but it was a darker box with a darker line in it. And this piece was cut from this. Okay, so I'm gonna just do the same thing I did before. This time I think I'll just put some glue in the center and no foam adhesive. You can also stick them together with glue dots so they're not raised, but they'll stick real quickly, and you won't have to wait for drying time, in other words. All right, so I'm going to set that there, let that glue dry. And then I've got a little flower button that's like a little rose, and it had a shank on the back that I cut off. And so that I can glue it flat onto this little flower. Oops. And it just makes a cute little center on a neutral colored flower embellishment. Gotta let that dry good because it is slippery. There we go. So you can see that is really cute. Whoops, it's really cute. I got the dropsies today. It's really cute, and it will make an adorable, you know, embellishment on a tag or an art journal page or anything you want to put it on. Okay. The only other thing I was going to show you was if you don't have punches and you don't have die cuts, you might want to use scissors and just cut a shape. I think I will use one of these flaps from this box. It's just another tissue box. Okay, move that out of the way, and then here's a corresponding box that goes really well with it. And I'll use one of these flaps as well. And just cut a couple of just hand cut circles, nothing, you know, exact and perfect, just a rough little hand cut circle. Let's see, I'm going to get an area that's got the lines in it so that looks really cool on my circle. So I'll probably have to trim it a little bit to make it look like a circle. But I think it'll be a fun little fun little flower to make. So that's the smaller one, and then I'll do the bigger one here. And these are those Tim Holtz scissors by Tonic Studios, and they cut through this kind of thing with a lot of ease. They are very handy to have in your tools. All right. Okay, let's see. So see, you can make a little simple flower that looks like this, and maybe put you know, a button inside that. Let me grab my buttons again. Okay, I found one. So I'm just gonna glue these two together. Just put glue in the center. Stick the little circle down. Doesn't have to be directly in the center either. And glue the button on. So these go together really quickly. And then, like I said, just give them time to sit and dry. Let the glue get dried. And you have another cute little embellishment. You don't have to have the fancy stuff, although it's fun to make the flowers, but this to me is just as fun. So it's a quick and simple video today, quick and simple technique. So we have all of these fun little three-dimensional embellishments, all made from tissue boxes. And like I said, you can also use scrapbook papers and any other type of decorated paper, like your painted papers, your jelly prints, any of those things, and they will all make beautiful little embellishments. And so I just encourage you to grab your packaging and start punching. And I use every bit of this that I possibly can use to punch out or cut out shapes. You can see here that I've got a ton. Let me see if I can pick some of these up. They're laying over here off to the side. But I punch all of these tiny little shapes. And so the next time I sit down and want to put together some flowers, I've got all of these things already punched out, and they're waiting for me to use. And it's just fun to mix and match all your different patterns. That they don't have to be from the same tissue boxes. Like, for instance, these things were not from the same box, okay? The red here and the brown and this brown were not from the same box. I just mixed them together myself and, you know, put together my own little design, my own little pattern. So you can do the same thing, and it's fun to just have a box full of these things that are already punched and ready to go, and then you can just put together whatever you like. All right, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I'm anxious to see what you come up with for your dessert morsel this month, and we'll look for you over on the Facebook group, and can't wait to see what you do. All right, see you again soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.